Hello and welcome to my Elite Dangerous, the day-to-day grind, prime time grind all the time. There's some kind of grind. There's credit grinds, there's material grinds, there's beta grinds, everything that we do, going around to Planetary exploration and gathering materials, going to the material traders and moving materials around, working with the engineers, delivering cargo. And as you can tell, we're about to cross the 12 billion. And with content coming up in June with the permanent fleet carrier, it'll take up about 7 billion, including the tritium that we load up. So you can't have enough credits. So the big news today, it is May the 21st and it's past 10 a.m. UTC. If you haven't heard, you need to go out and purchase you a fleet carrier. They're 1 million as of now. The services are 100 credits per service, so under 1,000 credits. You can activate all the services. So if you have the opportunity, you need to go ahead and go purchase a fleet carrier and enjoy it for about 5 days till the 26th, sometime during the 26th of May. So we definitely want to bring you that news. That's the number one priority news story of the moment. So, well, for us, we need to get out to Sothis Mining, pick up a load, and bring it back probably to New Dawn. So if you'll look down to the bottom right hand corner of the screen and press that subscribe button, it'll help me greatly with YouTube eventually. And it doesn't cost you anything, and you get notified when we come across news like this. We did hear earlier that it was going to be on the 22nd that the blowout sale for fleet carriers, but it can't. I'm sure Frontier wanted to dismiss the rumor in some way, either make it one day later or one day earlier. It's better that they brought it one day earlier, so that gives you one more day to get to play with it. And it's worth playing around with. I really like the fleet carrier myself. So underneath the video, in the description, you'll see ways to donate. Please consider donating. It's a tough financial year for us, and the YouTube channel takes up funds because of storage of all of these videos. I record every time that I'm in the game, or in a game, and that takes storage. Many terabytes constantly. So we need your help there. So please consider donations. Underneath the video to the left, you'll see our YouTube channel page, GFM_RDG, where there's over 700 more videos for you to watch just since January of 3306/2020. So it's all content within the last 4 months, about 4.5 months of the publication of this video. And so now we need to get out to Sothis Mining. Sys left, and it's already plugged in. And better get your popcorn, because on the way back I'm sure we'll be interdicted many times, up to 7 in one Super Cruise run.
Landing gear retracted.
Clear of the landing pad. Observe queuing system when exiting the station.
And sometimes the auto launch will run you into things. So has many things in this game. They need to fix that. Do appreciate you coming along, and my videos are you're just coming with me on this adventure throughout the galaxy and through our grind. And when we asteroid mine, we get about 30 tritiums per hour, but I can make enough credits in an hour to buy 1,000.
4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
Over 1,000 tritiums. So it's best for me to run cargo and then go purchase it from Robigo, which the last I checked it was 40. I'm sure today it's going to go up, or I would think it will go up because of the demand for tritium today is going to be much higher than usual. In Beta 2, I bought about 16,000 tons on day 1, and that was not a real good idea, and I put it in my notes not to do that in live. Next month, when they become available, it was 50,000 per tritium unit, and within 4 days, it was 40,000 for a tritium unit. So we will probably purchase around 1,000 on first day in June, and then we will purchase probably a load of tritium every so many days. At least the websites like Anera.cz and I think it's called like EDDB or ADDB. I have them saved, so all I got to do is click on them. Sites that will give you the latest prices for commodities. So we'll always be looking for the best price, and when we find the best price, we might load up on some. Says left. And that's what's been nice about the betas, is we've been able to test things to do, where to do it. We will find I like mining in uninhabited systems, so you don't have as much pirate interaction, or any pirate interaction. And we will find uninhabited systems that have double tritium hotspots, and we'll probably visit some of those. Come June, see, the extra resources will be nice. In June, and that we depend on today. Sites like Anera, ZZ, and the EDDB site. I do appreciate all of those that have subscribed. Sis left. I mean, to me, the number is really good, but YouTube requires about 16 times as many subscribers that I currently have just to get any true support from them. So I need quite a few more. But I am appreciative of the ones that have already subscribed, and it doesn't cost you anything, those that haven't. And it keeps you notified when I produce more videos. I try to bring you the latest information as I hear it. It's not always correct, and I get corrected from some of our listeners, and that's great. I do verify the correction, and when it is confirmed, I bring that to you.
Docking successful. Engines disengaged.
And there are times that I misunderstand, so I have to go back and make sure I'm understanding correctly. But within a few days we get everything all squared away and seems to work. Now what I like to do when I first get here is I check for new missions like these Deliver 2 and Deliver 3 per unit. It's hard to beat those. And we're going to get that mission critical message. It's going to throw us up to the top. And we're waiting for that, see?
Mission critical message.
That's a pain too. That's another one of those pain points. It's just the obstacle course mentality of the game. They have to throw obstacles in your way constantly. I would like a little more reality and a little less obstacle course and pirate fantasy. Myself, that would be my chosen or preferred gameplay. But in the past, Frontier doesn't really care about the way I would prefer things to be. It's deal with it. So that's probably why they're number 73 in the ranking of games, not in the top 10 where they could be. Now on the fleet carriers, they did listen to the players for once and decide to make changes based on players' comments. And I was pretty impressed by that because they seem to have never cared about that in the past. So that was pretty impressive. Hopefully that it's a new leaf that they're turning, that they'll start listening to their customers a little more. Sis left. And we try to take the oldest ones first. We have a boom time delivery, 78-180 to New Dawn. So that's the oldest one, so we definitely want to take that one. We try to go to a single destination. Sis left. And it's a boom time, 108 Palladium to New Dawn. Now there are times that we have multiple 108s are the same, and it's the wrong one, so sis left. Sis left. See, like that one, we picked the one above it instead of the one that we wanted. So there's another 108 Palladium. And we could only pick a partial in that.
At maximum capacity.
The main thing is we will get over that 12 billion, which that's a good thing. Sis left. Pick our destination. We're going to CEOS, system map, go over into system, and we go to New Dawn. Now this is my live account, So what you see to the right, let's go back in there. You see Babbage, and it shows my ships. And it shows we have the original Sidewinder, we have 4 cutters, and we have 3 pythons listed there because we're in a python. So we've got 4 pythons and 4 cutters and a Sidewinder. And they're all decked out based on being a support ship for the fleet carrier. We have a cargo version of a python and a cutter. We have a mining version of a python and a cutter. We have a planetary exploration version of both a python and a cutter, and we have a travel version of a python and a cutter, so we don't have to move modules, we just jump in and go. So it's really nice when you can get to that stage, and that's why I need a fleet carrier to hold all of my assets. So that's why grinding is important, just like subscribing is important to a YouTube creator. And
Landing gear retracted. Ship released. Engine.
we hope one day to get support from YouTube.
Frameshift drive charging.
Now let's get to New Dawn, and we'll see how viral the pirates are at the moment.
3, 2, 1. Engage.
Can we get away with just 2 interdictions, or is it going to be 7? That's always the question between the star and the actual destination. We're going to start getting comms from them
Incoming mission critical
telling
message.
us that they're coming after us, and that's what that mission critical. He's come a long way to interdict us because he's such a good pirate, so he'll be able to take our loot or take our cargo, which hasn't happened in over 10 months, but they keep fantasizing that they're going to steal my cargo. If I was more of a combat player, I would go after them, but I would be taking on up to 7 at one time, because they'll all drop out of Super Cruise and fire at you all at the same time. So you better be pretty competent at combat, more than just the ranking. Because I have competent ranking, but I'm not as competent. So. And yes, they're not that hard to defeat, but they're a nuisance. But like I said, I can make the credits in an hour where I can buy 1,000 tritiums or tritiums in an hour, where I can only mine 30 an hour, so I don't have a whole lot of choice. And they turn you in the opposite direction of your destination, so you have to go catch up with it again, and then another one pops out on the sensor down there right behind us, so we'll get another interdiction. That'll be number 3, and we do get up to 7 at times. And to me, this is the worst part of the game, the part I dislike the very most. And watch the throttle down there, it's all maxing out. That's another part I dislike about the game, and all I hear is you have to deal with it. So I'm hoping someday they'll listen to their customers. That's the reason I cannot give a positive review, because they don't listen to their customers. So is this left? what I have said in the review is they could be the greatest game ever, but they choose not to be because they won't listen to their players. If they would listen to their players and make adjustment based on what the majority of their players want, they could be the greatest game ever. I'm not really sure why they choose not to be, but that's their decision. They control the game. And that mission critical message that pops up while you're trying to select missions is another feature of the game that I dislike also. So I am not an apologist, as you can tell. I will never be an apologist, as you can tell. I'll tell it to you straight up, the good, the bad, and the very ugly of everything. And my Oculus Rift S loses tracking at times, and I dislike that very much. Sis left.
The Federation welcomes you, Commander. We'd be happy to serve you at this port.
Now, I really like the scenery. I really like being able to fly spaceships and run around on planets and things like that. So it's not all bad. There's some good, but it could be great.
Access granted. Your assigned landing pad is number 15. Acknowledged, Commander. Clear for assisted docking.
As I have said many times, I wish there was a setting that you could set if you wanted low amounts of pirate interaction, medium, high, extreme, and non-stop. So the apologists, I'm sure, would want non-stop interdictions, so they never can get to their destination because the pirates would never stop. And that would be fine if that's what they wish. The way they talk, I guess that's the way they would wish. Because it's always your fault because you get interdicted. Everything is your fault when you have a complaint. So, but there has to be people in the world like that, I guess. Now, let's get over that 12 billion.
Landing operation complete. Power down your engines. Welcome to the station, Commander.
And that's the main thing. The main things I wanted to do on this video is to remind you that you can go out and purchase a fleet carrier and use it through May the 26th. And the costs are low enough that you should hopefully be able to afford it. It's only 1 billion, or 1 million. Why do I keep saying billion? It's 1 million for the fleet carrier instead of 5 billion. And to activate the services, it is 100 credits. Not thousands, not millions, just 100 per service. Is this right? Okay, so we have went over that 12 billion. So we did about 15 million on that run. And even with my commentary, it's only been 28 minutes. And even at that, in an hour, I would have more than enough to buy a load in the cutter of 720 tritiums for that hour, where I can only mine 30. So you can kind of get the idea that it's better for me to run missions and then go purchase the tritium, which it is. Let's get back to Sothis mining and we'll conclude this video. Sis left. But like I said, I was very encouraged with Frontier, listening to the players and making positive changes to the fleet carrier. Very encouraged by that. I'm hoping that's a new attitude for the future. The core of their game is very good. They just need to tweak a few things to make it even better.
Landing gear retracted.
Clear of the landing pad. You may leave when ready.
And the auto dock and auto launch, there's some tweaks that need to be made there, like it runs you into things. It's supposed to be computer controlled, and if it is, why do they run you into things, like into the sidewalls or into a tower sticking out or something? I certainly would not go through this game without shields. But what I'm hoping with my videos is that they're informative and educational.
3, 2, 1, engage.
And hopefully somewhat entertaining. I'm not the best YouTuber out there, I'm sure. I'm not the best at everything, I'm sure. But I do my best, and there has been over 6,000 individuals that have watched my videos, and I'm pretty impressed by that. Many people in my life say I'd been the last one out there that they would have ever expected. For one, to have a YouTube channel. Two, that people would actually follow me in any way. I have to agree too. But this game takes practice. It takes a lot of practice. You need to know your controllers well. You need to have your modules modified with the engineers as much as possible. And then just practice. Finding the niche that works for you. Cargo running works for me, even though I dislike the pirates as much as I do. I hear back probably a decade ago, because this game's been out like for 30 years, but in different forms. Of course, it was not a VR game 30 years ago. It was more of the old arcade asteroid game type. And they say the pirates were much worse about a decade ago. And Frontier did heed to the screams of their players a little and calmed it down some. Sys left. So I think they need to heed a little more. That's why I mine in uninhabited systems, so I don't have to deal with the constant pirate attacks. Now, I can't deliver missions in uninhabited systems, so I wind up having to deal with the pirates. I don't have to like it, and I don't. And I make it very clear that I don't like it. But in this game, you need credits. And the apologists will tell you, well, just don't play the game then. Well, if all the ones that had a complaint with the game didn't play, there wouldn't be a game. They should think about that. Because if you go to the Frontier forum, most have a complaint of some sort or another. So, I mean, see, people want to throw that out there. Well, just don't play then. Well, if we just didn't play, you wouldn't have a game to play. So. And I have heard conflicting stories on how many players there are. I've heard it from 3.5 million to 25 million. Sis left.
Docking request granted.
But I have seen the game run with Elite Dangerous and Horizons together about $17 on Steam at times. So, and the retail on that's about $100.
Landing gear deployed.
So why do they have to discount so dramatically? I think if it was managed a little bit better,
Docking successful.
they
Engines
would
disengaged.
do better financially. And my first step would be to listen to your customers. Okay. So what I like to do, I like to go down and just look for new palladiums. Palladium pays the most, gold pays next, silver, I think it's gallite after that. But at the moment, I only collect these 2 and 3s. These, you get these from donating. Like down here where it says donate, when you first get started. And if you look at the reputation bar, they're all maxed out. You need those maxed out. You need to donate. And then you get these 2 and 3s for like 1,000,003 and almost 1,000,000 per unit. It's hard to beat those. So I take all of those I can get. And the mission critical message, see how it throws you to the top? I dislike that very much. And I make that very clear.
Mission
See?
critical message.
It's just so annoying. It's done on purpose, and I don't understand annoying your customers on purpose. Yeah, it just doesn't sound like good business. And if the apologists want to explain to me why annoying your customers is a good practice, then I would like to hear that. So, okay. I appreciate you coming along. I appreciate you listening to my rants. I have a few. I mean, I don't have tons. There's more good than there is bad, but there is some bad, and that's why I keep announcing it. I'm hoping, because Frontier says they do watch the YouTube creators on Elite Dangerous videos, and I'm hoping someday they'll listen, like they did with the fleet carrier, and changes will be made. So, hopefully, I keep hoping. So, and I hope that those of you that have not subscribed yet will. It doesn't cost you anything. You get notified when I create more videos, and it'll help me with YouTube eventually. And underneath the video in the description, you'll find ways to donate. It's been a very difficult financial year for us, and the YouTube channel requires lots of funding. So, if you would, consider donating. And underneath the video to the left, you'll see our YouTube channel page, GFM_RDG, where there's over 700 more videos for you to watch just in the last 4.5 months. So until the next video, thank you for watching.